We're chaotic, we're stupid. Someone thought it would be a good idea to give us a microphone, and you are listening to the results. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your host, Desparoto, and today I am joined by Nightfall Revel, Naira, and the DoeKers.
Who?
And today, we're planning on doing something a little bit different.
You got the wrong streamer there. DoeKers is a completely different streamer.
You want to try that again?
Nah, we're gonna roll with it.
Oh my god.
Look on Rev's face when I said that. We're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. This was DoeKe's suggestion. We're gonna have...
Hold on.
Holding?
I need to start my stream still.
Oh, you're on the start screen still.
It's on the starting soon screen. Yeah.
Look at that. Just trying to hit the ground and run like...
Yeah, I know, right? Blooper.
This whole podcast is a blooper.
We're fine. We're fine.
You're fine. I'm fine. We're all fine. How are you?
We're fine. We're here.
This is fine.
The ship's not sinking.
Oh, it's done sunk. We're at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, darn.
There we go. We are here now.
Yay, it's a
Yay.
DoeKers.
Welcome to the DoeKers channel.
Also, thanks for the first and the hydrate ground. And good night, I guess.
It literally says, Lord Ground, redeem first. Lord Ground, redeemed hydrate. Okay, bye. Have a good stream.
Basically, yeah.
Anyway, at the suggestion of the one and only DoeKers,
DoeKe.
we're going to do a tier list this year. No, it's DoeKers now.
No, it can't be DoeKers. There's a streamer that literally comes in a DoeKe stream named DoeKer. You can't do that.
There actually is.
I was unaware of this. We'll trade channels then. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Oh my god. Pretty sure that's not how that works, but okay.
I'll only agree to that if you can only call you Despa Poo Poo.
That name might get more clicks, honestly.
Lord.
Anyway.
Yes, small children.
So we're planning a tier list of, what was it, DoeKe?
Video game franchises.
This ought to be a fun subject. I'm sure we're not going to be beating the crap out of each other at some point.
So what we're going to do is the four of us talk about a specific video game franchise, and we're going to keep doing it through different franchises. But if we cannot agree on a specific grade, which there will be S tier, A, B, C, D, and F, and then of course a undecided don't know category. But if we can't decide, like say some of us say F, some of us say S, then we'll kind of average it out and put it in a C. So we'll kind of decide amongst ourselves, okay, so should it go here? Should it go here? And we'll talk about why we think it deserves that grade or why we think we like that so much or whatever.
But real quick before we do that, I do want to do, since this is the month of December, I want to do a year in review. Since it's the end of 2023, how has the year been for everybody here?
I really don't want to answer that question, honestly.
It's been shit. This year has been an absolute dumpster fire.
It's not been the best.
I'll say that.
Like it's had its ups and downs. It started out kind of but like it's been up and down.
So it seems we've all had roughly the same kind of year, it seems.
Yeah. But let's just go with that.
Sure.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, let's just move on from this subject. DoeKe, get the tier list, for the love of God.
Okay.
Are you going to have it visible on stream?
It's visible on stream currently. Let me actually remove this camera border.
Let me turn my quality up to 360p so I can see.
There are so many franchises on this list.
Oh my god.
We're not getting to all of these.
Pick the bigger ones.
We're picking the bigger ones.
Keep this under an hour.
And I think I would like to start with the most obvious one, the Mario franchise. And that's all Mario games. All of them.
All Mario games. My experience is Mario 1, Mario 64. What's the one with the hat?
Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey.
That's the ones I've played. I like Mario. Always a fun game. Always doing something different. Always doing something not necessarily good, but always different. I would put Mario at probably A tier.
I feel like I'm kind of in agreement. I would probably put it at A or B because the Mario franchise has had some games that have not been great. Like, I remember playing on PC a game called Mario is Missing, where you're playing a Luigi and going through time and trying to find Mario and all that. It wasn't the greatest game. I remember being kind of frustrated with it, but in like overall, I think the Mario franchise has been really good to the point where like they are adding new things and new characters. And I just recently got Super Mario Wonder, and I've been enjoying it. I think it's really fun. So I would probably put it either A or B for me.
I mean, for myself personally, I would probably say B tier. I mean, yeah, it's a game that people do remember. Like, if you say, hey, have you played any games? Most people will say, yeah, I played like one of the Mario Brothers. And I'm probably older on the scale of Mario. Like, I've played 1, 2, 3. And after that, Super Mario Land on Game Boy, things like that. So I'm used to more of the side platformer style. But yeah, I would put it about a B tier. But it's seriously one of those games that everybody remembers and everyone has played.
Oh yeah, everyone knows Mario.
Yeah, anyone who has had any kind of Nintendo product has played Mario.
Anybody that doesn't even know video games knows Mario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in my personal experience. Yeah, I'd probably have to put it at a B tier too, just because I have childhood memories of playing Mario. One of my first Game Boy Color games was Super Mario Brothers. And I don't know, it hasn't held my interest through the years, but it definitely has stood the test of time.
Yeah, because I've not played every Mario game, for sure. I've picked it up every so often, but it's not something that's always even caught my attention. But it's one of those things that it's stood the test of time. Like, from the original NES, and it's still going.
And the other thing is, like, I don't get, like, if there's a new Mario game coming out, I don't get super excited about, like, oh my God, I have to go run to GameStop right now and go or buy the new Mario game when it releases on Switch.
Exactly, exactly.
It doesn't instill that kind of excitement where I have to run out and get it. So that's why I'm only putting that as a B tier myself personally.
Get it when you get around to it.
So it goes in the B tier. I think is the consensus
I'd
here.
say put it upper B tier. Yeah, that sounds fair.
Well, it's the only one on the list right now, so it's literally alone by itself on the B tier right now.
So that makes
it's
it
alone
number 1
on the whole board.
Mario number 1. I will say that the next topic that we'll talk about is Zelda.
Yes, S tier.
Why?
I mean, you know why I pick S tier for Zelda.
Oh, I know. I want you to elaborate.
Okay, so Zelda for me started again on the Game Boy Color. I didn't play Ocarina of Time. I didn't play Majora's Mask.
Not even the remakes?
I did play the remake of Ocarina. I think when Ocarina of Time came out, I think I was too little to really know about it or even to ask to play it because my dad and I played Mario 64 and Donkey Kong 64 together. I didn't know like much about the video game world at that point. So Oracle of Seasons was my first Zelda game. And that game was hard. To this day, I still have not. I got stuck on one of the bosses and I kind of just put it down and I've
never touched it again.
No, actually I didn't. So I did try picking it back up quite a few years ago. It's been now. Tried to see if I could get to the boss and beat it. And I don't know if I'm just like out of practice with the game, but I still couldn't beat it. And so I put it down again and I still I haven't touched it again. Part of me wants to go back and see if I can actually beat it, but I've spent hours on that game, like just trying to figure out where to go and what to do. And it was very much the type of game that I don't think that I would enjoy as much anymore because there's not a lot of guidance to it. You literally are going into it blind. You just have to look for like subtle clues here and there. And I'm not always good at that. But I don't know, for some reason, I really enjoyed that game to the point where when Wind Waker came out and they were advertising it on TV, I got really excited and convinced either my mom or my dad or both, I don't remember, to get a GameCube just so I could play this game because I was like, I need it. And I can't even tell you how many hours I poured over Wind Waker, like mapping out the ocean, writing down all the clues. Like I had a whole notebook that was dedicated to Wind Waker. That's where my true love of the series, I think, really started. And then it just kept getting better for me. Like Twilight Princess was so good.
I can only imagine your reaction whenever they came out with Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god. So like even Skyward Sword, I enjoyed Skyward Sword a lot, even though a lot of people didn't really enjoy that as much. I was like, I really like it. I think it's really good. And some of the other smaller games, I need to play these like for the 3DS and the DS. I had to make sure that I played those too.
I have one of those. I don't know which one. I can't even find the cartridge anymore. It just disappeared. The case is right over there, but the cartridge is just gone. I think it was just DS that one was for.
Might have been Spirit Tracks?
No, I don't think so. I'd have to go look.
The other one was I can't even remember now.
It was like Toon Link, I think.
Yeah, Spirit Tracks was Toon Link, but there was one other one that was Toon Link, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Phantom Hourglass, there we go. I knew it had to do with sand. I was like, sands of something. No, I'm like, I don't know. I can't think of what it is. But anyway, no, I've really loved the series. Breath of the Wild, I was super excited for too. I am not as much of a fan, I think, of the art style too much for Breath of the Wild. And also Zelda's voice sucks. I hate it. But
It grew on me after a while.
while I have my complaints about Breath of the Wild, it's still an incredible game. It's still Zelda. And Tears of the Kingdom, as little as I've played it so far, is also an incredible game too. I think they've only improved with Tears of the Kingdom.
So do you still say S tier then?
Oh, of course. Yes, absolutely.
Automatic
Okay.
S tier from Rev.
What about you, Despa?
You were going to say something, Naira.
Oh no, I was gonna put my input in, but
Oh, go ahead.
okay. So honestly, like it is granted, yes, it is a very well-known franchise, and a lot of people do love it. And I'm probably gonna upset everyone with what I'm going to say about it.
What
It's
you
not
gonna
a-
say? What you guys say, Naira?
Honestly, I would rank it around a D. I don't think it was anything overly special. It's not something I ever really got into as a game series. And that's me personally. I just never really got into the series. Like, it just wasn't appealing at all. It's kind of like, wow. It just was like, that's pretty much it.
I'm going to say Zelda for me. I played Ocarina was my first. I played Oracle of Seasons. I played Link to the Past. I played... What's the one where it's a dream with all the instruments? Got remade recently?
A dream with all the instruments?
Yeah, like Link...
Ocarina of Time?
No, Link's on
Link's
an
Awakening?
Island. That's it. Link's Awakening. I played that one. And I played Breath of the Wild.
Instruments?
Yeah, Link's Awakening. You collect a bunch of instruments. And it's a dream. He's like KO'd throughout the whole thing. It's revealed at the end. That's Link's Awakening. I just spoiled the whole game. Anyway, I'd say upper A, I think.
So, okay.
Upper A tier for me.
I could probably agree with A. I was honestly going to say B, mostly just because I do think it does deserve to be higher up because of it's one of those things or one of those games where it is well known whether you like the franchise or you don't. You know Zelda. I mean, it's the whole common joke. It's like, so the guy in the green, that's Zelda, right? Like that's the whole running joke. You know what Zelda is. Whether I have played any of the games or not, I do think it should be at least a B tier. I personally have never played a lot of Zelda games. I played a little bit of, I think, Majora's Mask, the original Zelda, like the original like Legend of Zelda game, and I had this, and honestly, I'm sorry, the Phantom Hourglass, it did not keep my attention for more than 5 minutes. I remember picking it up and getting bored of it like almost immediately. I would probably, I don't know, I still think I would say B. So we have an S, an A, a B, and a D. I think that would be like lower B or C.
Let's say a B. I'll give it a B. Let's
Yeah.
just say a B just for...
Put it on the same level
Yeah.
as Mario.
Yeah.
Just so Rev doesn't kill us all.
It's too late. I'm already killing you all.
Hey, I gave it an
How
A.
dare you put Zelda in a B?
Because I honestly, personally do not like the game. I mean, that's not...
That's fair.
And yeah, that's fair. Not all games are for everyone,
Exactly.
despite the rating.
And this is a rating like an average between the four of us anyway.
Yeah.
So you can still rate it an S, but like if one of us rates it like a C, it'll probably end up in an A or B.
Exactly.
So let's see. Okay, let's talk about Minecraft.
But we're talking about franchises. Minecraft is really just a singular game, just with multiple different versions of the same game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it kind of is a franchise, though, because you have Minecraft Legends, Minecraft Dungeons.
Minecraft, for me, I'll go ahead and just start. I still think I would put that at C tier for me, because while it is a good game and a fun game, it always has its moments where you get bored of it, you put it down for a while, and then you pick it back up and then do the same thing. And if you've already done everything, you don't pick it back up. You just start a new world and do it all over again.
Yeah, unless you're really into it with doing speed runs or anything, it doesn't have that much replayability, in my opinion. I would probably put it in the same place as you, see.
Honestly, I'm about on the same boat. It's a good game. It's a fun game when you play, and it's a very creative game, which I do enjoy creative games. But yeah, I would put it like a C tier because there's really no story. There's storyline, but yeah, it's not like a typical story. Whereas it would progress as you play. You just kind of got to figure it out as you go along. But yeah, I would put it about a C tier as well.
No, honestly, I would put it just a little higher at a B, just because I do enjoy playing the game a lot, and it's a really good multiplayer game, like, especially with cooperating, like
mods.
Well, yeah, the mods make it really good too. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many mods for it that just change the way you play.
Although I will say a lot of the mods, though, are really just bringing other franchises into the Minecraft game world. So it's not really anything new or unique. Not that there's anything wrong with this. I kind of like it. The idea of playing Pokemon in a Minecraft world where I also have to kind of build a house and survive and all that is a very neat thing. And has any Pokemon game done that?
No.
No,
Uh-uh.
not really.
Okay, I'll take it back what I said then. That is kind of neat that they bringing the simple act of bringing the Pokemon stuff into Minecraft kind of made a unique thing that why the heck hasn't Pokemon done that yet?
Because they're very much geared to young children.
Does that change your grade then?
No, because Minecraft itself I'd still put at a C. If we want to start talking mods,
it's very moddable. Like it has
very
a lot of like
it is very
moddable.
And I think I think it's unfair to like discount the mods too, because it does, like, it changes the game, it changes the replayability. You can make a mod for just about any game, but the amount of creativity you can do with Minecraft is almost unendless.
The problem we're going to run into, though, is that might give some games an unfair advantage over games that don't have mods or don't have the same level of mods.
Oh, I don't think it's unfair at all. I don't think it's unfair at all. I feel like there's a lot of games that don't need mods. Like, I don't need mods to enjoy Legend of Zelda. I can replay Legend of Zelda multiple times and still enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it the last time I played it.
Although, I would like to have Linkle. I would like to play a game as Linkle.
Actually, I would love to have like a spin-off game with Linkle.
There's a mod
awesome.
you can play as her in Breath of the Wild. If you're willing to like
it's
risk
not the
your
same.
Switch, I know.
It's not the same. And no, I'm not willing to risk my Switch. I got the special edition.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. So I think it would be safe to say that Minecraft would probably be like a high C. Because, I mean, 3 C's and a B would still be kind of a C average.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to switch the screen. Minecraft will go at a C. Let's see. Do you have any games that you want to talk about that might be on this list?
Fallout.
You want to do Fallout? We'll do Fallout.
You know me and Fallout, of course.
All right. So, Fallout then. So that includes like Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, 76, all of them.
So that would actually include Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 76. Okay. I mean, honestly, okay, so, and here's the thing, like, anyone who knows me knows I absolutely adore the Fallout franchise.
Yes.
However, my ranking would be give it at most a B. And the reason for that is Bethesda. Okay, so here's the thing to remember about the game. The first technical 4 games. Even though Brother of Steel was technically a DLC, it was almost a standalone DLC. The first games up to Tactics was made by Interplay. Interplay went defunct. Bethesda bought the rights. Most people don't even think about the first 4 games. The first 4 games, the storytelling was iffy at best. A lot of the lore gets convoluted because of the changeover in companies, and even now the lore gets switched around to suit things. Like Fallout 3, great game, absolutely great game. Fallout New Vegas, absolutely legendary game. And then Fallout 4 was decent, but it was one of those games where, as I played it, I realized there were certain things I needed to actually mod just to fix the game to make it playable.
That's Bethesda.
Yeah, I mean, their whole settlements thing, honestly, I'm a builder, like I said before, and if I started building and I actually spent hundreds and hundreds of hours building settlements, so I ended up getting a mod for it. There were mods I had to get to fix certain issues with certain build areas and stuff. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't really rank it higher. I would rank it a B because it's got amazing storyline behind it if you actually put it all together. There is a ton of lore, which I love lore. Games with lore, I am all over. It's based in a unique world as well. It's not some, run-of-the-mill cookie cutter fantasy world. And that also makes it something special. There's stuff in Fallout. There's no other game that is set in a world like Fallout with the stuff Fallout has and things like that. So it deserves a recognition for that. And it's a game that's actually has survived since the 90s.
It's true.
And that also, we're not talking about 2023. This game started in 90. Shit, I don't even remember. I think it was around mid-90s, the first Fallout came out under Interplay. We're talking 2023. Fallout 76 is going strong. They're actually getting ready to do a next-gen update to Fallout 4 next year. It got pushed back because they're all about freaking Starfield right now. But there is going to be a next-gen update for Fallout 4. Fallout 4 came out in 2014 or 2015 because that game still holds true, and it's still a game people play. Years later, people will still play Fallout 4, Fallout 3, once you can get Fallout 3 to run. Because due to multi-core processors, it has issues. But, that's what I'm going to say about it. It's definitely at least a B tier.
All right. Well, then we'll go on with Despa.
I don't have much experience with the Fallout games. The only one I've ever actually played was 76, briefly. I do have New Vegas. I kind of don't want to play it because there's a thing with the Fallout games that I don't like, and I know it's part of their aesthetic, but it drives me absolutely batty, and that is inventory management, how it's just a list of items on the little wrist computer thing. It is so annoying to me. It's so hard for me to get my head around all of it. Video games are a visual medium. Is it really that hard to have little images of the various guns and items on screen? Because everything just gets lost in the list.
No. Really? Okay, so Fallout 76, you got to realize the thing is, yes, it is a list, but you can actually look at each item. You hit a key, you hit X, it'll show you the item, it'll show you the stats, it'll show you the special abilities, it'll show you everything on that weapon.
But the problem is that's not visible at all times. So things get lost in this list of menus, and you can see that stuff, but you got to find it in the list first.
Yeah, it's a carryover from the original Fallouts, to be honest. So
I know.
It's keeping the story straight. So back then it didn't have that kind of technology where your system could render every single weapon in your inventory.
I know it's a carryover, but it's one of those things where it's I really would love it if y'all just got some modern inventory management. I will say Fallout is very entertaining to watch. Shout out to the Mike Burnfire YouTube channel. Very, very entertaining to watch people play it, but I never really cared to get into it. Overall, I think I'd put Fallout at D tier. Maybe if I play, eventually I'm going to have to play New Vegas, I think, but that might elevate it. But right now I'd say D just because I don't like some of the game design choices, especially nowadays when they could do so much better, and Bethesda, and we all know what I mean by that.
See, I'm kind of in the middle between the two of you, and I would probably say a C, mainly because I do think Fallout has a very large fan base, and I really do enjoy the aesthetic of it, the whole, end of the world, and like all the music is like this old timey music, and I love the aesthetic of it. And I, believe it or not, enjoyed playing Fallout 76, but it was also one of those games where it's like, okay, this is boring, and I never touched it again.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was never really big into the franchise, I have all the games. Like, I have, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, New Vegas, like, all of those. But I've really not picked any of them up outside of, like, 76, and I may have started playing 4, like, a little bit. So while I think I like it aesthetically, I personally can't get into it very well. So that's why I would probably still say C. I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's, middle of the road.
I'm pretty much right with DoeKe on this.
So then we will put Fallout at C, I think, right? Is what we decided on?
Yeah, that would definitely be a C, because you guys said C, I said B, and Vespa, who I will stab later for saying D.
Yeah. So, 2 C's, a D, and a B. So, yeah, I'd be right in the middle. And then I'm going to do another one that I think Rev will be excited about. There's a couple I really want to get to, but I want to do this one next. I want to do Diablo. I love the Diablo games. I mean, I don't think I've ever played the first one, but I had a lot of hours in D2. And then Diablo 3 came out. I played that a lot with friends. And then, of course, me and Rev have played a lot of D4 as well now. It's a great game. I don't think it's necessarily an S tier or anything. I would probably personally put it at like a B tier. Maybe like mid to high B tier, just because of the amount of fun that I got from playing multiplayer on it. I mean, it's not the best graphics or anything. Like, it's a top-down game where you're just pointing and clicking where you want to go, and it is fun. I don't think it's the best game ever, but it's a hell of a lot of fun when you're playing with friends. So I think I would probably put it a B.
So how are we going to handle this if one of us has to abstain from the vote?
Why would we have to abstain?
Because I've never played any of the Diablos, and I don't know enough about the game to really have an opinion on it.
That's fair. I mean, we can just, if you don't want to put a vote on the grade, then we can just average it between 3.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so I'm gonna hurt feelings. Okay, so out of all 4 games, there was only one I actually enjoyed, which was 2. And that was way back in the day when I'm not a fan of top downs. First of all, top downs irritate the hell out of me. 2, honestly, so 1 I played a little bit. I'm not going to really use that as a medium because I was really young when I played it. 2 I played the hell out of, so that'll save this vote. 3 I played and I instantly freaking hated it. Instantly. Like, I honestly gave it a try.
Did you play it when it first came out?
Probably 6 months afterwards or so, but I did play it and I absolutely hated the game. And 4, literally because of that, I had absolutely no want or will to play 4. So honestly, I would rank that at, 1 out of 4 games was good. I would rank it as a low D at that point.
Okay.
So I do know that as far as 3 goes, there were a lot of complaints for 3 when it first came out. I don't know how long it took them, but there was at one point where they basically did a bunch of updates to the game and kind of did like a re-release of it. I think it was probably within the first year, maybe. But after they fixed some things, it got a lot better.
They did have a lot of issues at first.
I did not start playing Diablo 3 until well after it had already been out. But Diablo is another one that I've got a lot of history with. Not as much as Zelda, just because I was not allowed to play Diablo as a small child.
I wonder why.
However, I did watch my dad play it. Like, I would watch over his shoulder. And I can remember thinking it was like one of the coolest games I'd ever seen, but also kind of gross because there was a bunch of blood. I was a kid.
Yeah.
Whatever. But also some of the monsters are rather grotesque, not gonna lie.
Like the big fat ones that explode into worms?
Yeah, that's in 3. I don't know if those are...
Were they not in 2?
I don't remember them being in 2.
Okay. I know a bunch of them that still do exist were in 2. Like, I'm pretty sure the worms were in 2, like, by themselves.
I give it a B. Just because, as much as I do love Diablo, they kind of flubbed a little bit with 4. I still really enjoy 4, but I feel like they could have done a lot more with it.
Okay, so then that brings Diablo at a C.
Let's not forget the mobile. They made a mobile game, which was absolutely horrible, which actually knocks that game down to.
What, you guys don't have phones?
I totally forgot that was a thing that existed.
Okay. Yeah, there are definitely two that I want to get to. The next one I want to go with is the one for me specifically, and that being Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon since Red and Blue, since it came out. I was in middle school, had a Game Boy Color, played the hell out of Red and Blue, finished the Pokedex on Red. I remember devastation of a Game Boy cartridge battery going dead and losing all of my progress. But I have loved Pokemon. Every single game that has come out, I've never stopped loving that game. To me, that game will always be either A or S tier for me. Probably S for me. But I understand that it's not everybody's thing. Also, Pokemon is one of those games I think it's kind of the first of its kind. Like, yes, it's still an RPG, but like, it's one of those, it's probably the first game I think that ever came out to where you collect something and trade with friends. And I don't think many people used a link cable before Pokemon came out.
I didn't even know they were a thing before Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Pokemon, like, really came out and just, like, changed the whole, like, Game Boy market, like, completely. Like, you were excited to get your Game Boy, run over to a friend's house. I got a link cable. Give me your Bulbasaur. I want a Squirtle. Like, you know, like, it was huge when it was out. Like, and I have very fond memories of playing Pokemon growing up. So, to me, it would be an S or an A tier, just for both personal reasons and for, you know, what Pokemon has actually brought to. I say the same thing with like Mario and Zelda because they are big franchises and they do. If you don't know video games, you know who Mario and Zelda even are. Everybody knows who Pikachu is. It's literally the same thing.
All three of them were from Nintendo, which is not surprising when you think about it.
That is true, yeah. So that's my grading on it. I'm very biased when it comes to Pokemon, but I have a lot of memories, and I think Pokemon actually, outside of that, has also changed the game when it came out, because nobody's thought about like collecting and trading through video games before that.
Or really since, because I don't think anyone's quite matched them in that kind of regard.
Probably not. Well, I mean, I think because everything after Pokemon, like you had Digimon, you had, I forget what it was. It was a more cartoony, very similar type thing. There was a cartoon about it, and it was a dude and the Mike Wazowski looking eyeball thing. I'd have to look it up. But go ahead. I'm done with my turn.
I can go. I would rank it about A tier. I mean, I grew up with the game. I grew up watching the show. I grew up watching, I grew up playing, blue and red and yellow. Really kind of skipped over the second gen. It wasn't really mainly because my parents wouldn't get me. I think it was the color. I think it was that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't have a color. I mean, Pokemon Stadium, I beat the ever-loving crap out of Pokemon Stadium on 64. And it's a series.
Sorry, interrupt. Gold and Silver you could play on a regular Game Boy. Crystal you couldn't.
I think it was Crystal. But, I mean, it's a game I grew up with. It's a game I actually hold very fond to my heart, to be completely honest. Was every Pokemon game like like an amazing game? No. I mean, but that's any series. You're going to have your flops. But overall, it was just a game that would captivate me and play for hours and hours. And yeah, I can't say much bad about it. So yeah, I would definitely give it an A tier.
You can go ahead, Rev. I think I'm going to be the Debbie Downer.
Of course you are.
That's funny because I was kind of thinking that was going to be me.
I might put it higher than y'all think, though. I
am going to give it a high C to low B,
okay,
which is an upgrade in rating because it is such a well-known franchise. I grew up with the show. I only watched vanilla, though. I didn't really get into the later shows.
I've never heard it called vanilla before.
It's vanilla. It's the original.
I know, but I just never heard it called vanilla before.
I played Pokemon Crystal, and to this day, Cyndaquil remains my favorite Pokemon. I got a little sleepy plushie of him on my desk. Yeah. However, as a game, y'all are going to stab me for this.
I won't. Don't worry.
But I feel like once you've played one, you have basically played them all. Yes, they will all have differing stories. However, the game is pretty much the same. You go, you catch Pokemon, you beat the bad guy. That's pretty much it. And yeah, you can go catch them all, sure, if you want to. Most people do, I guess. But that's just not... I don't want to do that over and over and over again. I don't have the attention span for that.
I can't kill you right now because I'm really just loving watching the cat right now.
Well, I don't have a cat shield, so I'm a dead man.
For Pokemon, I mean, like a lot of the earlier games, I think your point would be pretty valid. Like, you know, once you played one, you played them all. But like, they've also changed a lot recently. I mean, not recently, but like probably since like the 3DS games onward, maybe, I think. Because they've been adding side things that you could do. So it's not just beat the gym leaders, go to the Elite Four, beat the champion, you're done. Like, they also have, like, a lot of, like, side things you can do. Almost kind of like quests. Where you can just do things without being on that one track.
Side quests.
Yeah, they're kind of like side quests. So they've kind of changed that up a bit. I mean, the whole main story is, yes, you know, beat the gym leaders, get your badges, go to the Elite Four, beat them, beat the champion, and yay, you're the champion. Like, that's always been the fact.
I will say I did get Arceus. Whatever was the one before that, I can't remember.
Sword and Shield?
No.
Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu?
I did get Let's Go Pikachu, but there's a different one. That was kind of the...
Are you sure you're not thinking of Sword and Shield?
Yeah, what came out after Arceus?
Violet and Scarlet? The ones that are out now?
I don't know what I'm thinking of, but I got Arceus, and I think I got overwhelmed myself with it, because that one is very much, you know, collect all the Pokemon, collect all the data, and I'm just like, okay, let's do it then. And then, like, going out and actually managing to do it, I just was kind of like...
It's tedious.
And I don't do well with that kind of thing.
But it gives you something to do outside of beat the story, beat the champion, okay, you're done. Like, there's more to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know there's more to do, but I think in that sense where it's just like, go out and catch all the Pokemon and get all the data, like as being part of the game, whereas like in Crystal, I didn't feel like I needed to do that.
You didn't.
And I think in Arceus, they made it more of a thing where it's like, yeah, make sure you go catch all these Pokemon so we can have all their data. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Also, Arceus is the only one to do that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Only one.
So that's not the only game I've played since Crystal either. So like there was a game or two that came out on the GameCube, and one of them definitely was bad. it was bad. Like, it even had bad story. I was like, this is dumb.
No main games came out. Like, none of the main games came out on GameCube.
I honestly could not even tell you the name of the game.
Yeah, GameCube did not have a main series game. I know that for sure, which I always thought that was weird that they never had a main story game. GameCube, I've seen a lot of people say that Scarlet Violet was better than Arceus was.
Oh, it was Coliseum.
Pokemon Coliseum. Yeah, that's just battling. That's it. That's all it is. It's the same thing.
It had a story.
Did it?
Yeah.
I never had a GameCube, so I can't say. I mean, I assumed it was just like Pokemon Stadium for the 64.
No. Which I did play Pokemon Stadium. That game I wish they would come back with.
It was fun.
Because that was fun. I liked battling friends.
Like putting the thing into the controller and then putting your Game Boy cartridge inside in the controller so you could use your own Pokemon in the 64 game.
I didn't have a 64.
Oh my god.
My dad had a 64 when I was little, but at some point it broke, and then he just never fixed it. He never bothered fixing it, even though he could have.
So that's another thing. I should bring up. This little attachment right here. For those of you that are watching the stream or the YouTube video when it goes up on YouTube, this little attachment right here would go into the back of your controller, and then you would put your Game Boy cartridge in there, like your Pokemon cartridge in there, so that you can use your Pokemon from your red, blue, yellow.
I had one of those
in Pokemon Stadium.
I had a couple of
you
those.
could also play the game on Stadium.
You can. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you could.
And I did that.
Also, if you had a Super Game Boy, you could just play Game Boy games on your well, that was Super Nintendo. That's for SNES.
Yeah, that was Super Nintendo.
Yeah. That's SNES. Also, that attachment was absolute ass. The Super Game Boy.
Of course it was. It was early.
Another thing Pokemon did. I'm telling you, like, whether you love or hate the game, Pokemon did a lot of shit for the gaming industry.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, sorry I cut you off, Rev.
Oh, no, you're all right. No, I don't really have much else to say, because I just, like, I don't know, I also feel like the more Pokemon they come out with, the more ridiculous they get.
Yes.
And it's hard to take them seriously anymore, because it's just...
There are a lot of Pokemon out there that are just silly, but they do still come out with really cool ones.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Despa.
Okay. So I have been back and forth throughout this entire conversation thinking, where would I put this? At first I was like B, but now I'm thinking, for similar reasons as Rev, I might actually put it at A. Because I've played Yellow, Blue, and Stadium. Those are really the only ones I've played. I also played the original Pokemon Snap and Hey You Pikachu, which gets me to my first point that I think saves it. They have done enough new and different things that if we're talking about the franchise as a whole, and not just the mainline games, I think saves them a lot. Also, cannot deny the impact they've had. There ain't no way. But I do think the formula's getting tired, and as we discussed with Minecraft, I freaking stumbled on something that would be ingenious. And it's getting to the point where it's like, you make me think you're going to do something different with the one that was set at like a medieval era, but then it just ends up being the same freaking thing again with a different window dressing. So,
yeah,
because of the impact they've had, the innovations they've made, that would save them. But at the same time, I think the franchise is getting kind of tired. So I really don't know if I would put this in B or A. I feel like it's better than a C, but it shouldn't be on the same level as Mario and Zelda. So maybe lower B tier?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Lower B tier sounds good.
Yeah, no, you're right. The formula is it's tired. They have so much potential to do such great things with a Pokemon game, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, which, I mean... It works. People still buy the games. People still love to play the games. But I mean, I would personally like to see them do something bigger, something better.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have, SABB?
Yeah, I think that would put it at A on average.
I think that would probably put it at A, yeah. A or high B.
I would say probably an A.
Okay. I will let you all pick the next game. So I'll put Pokemon at A.
That's about what were one of the games you wanted to get to.
I've been looking through this list, and holy crap, there's a lot I would love to talk about. My top 3 being Mass Effect, Resident Evil, and Medal of Honor. But I guess I'm going to have to go with the big fish and pick Resident Evil since we're running out of time.
Okay.
So I guess I'll start. I'm a massive Resident Evil fan. I have been since I was a tiny child, way too young to be playing Resident Evil. My first one was Resident Evil 2. I've played almost all of them. I haven't played a lot of the spin-off or side games. I need to go back. I got the latest version of the first Resident Evil, and I need to go back and play that. I love and adore Resident Evil as a series. Claire Redfield from this series is my original waifu. I had to bring her up.
We know.
If it wasn't for Resident Evil, everything that happened after Resident Evil 4 originally, I would probably put this at an S tier. But because Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 are a thing, and I'm not knocking 4 and 5 because they're actually good in their own ways, and to some extent, I would even defend 6. But they are not Resident Evil at its best, and a lot of the side games kind of let it down as well. So I'm going to say Resident Evil belongs in A tier. Even though Claire Redfield, the OG waifu, is there.
God, you're like, I don't know.
Nobody does.
Okay.
All right, so I've played all the Resident Evils, and it's really one of those franchises that's hit or miss. Their games are either really good or really garbage. There is no in between. And honestly, I think being very generous with that S and A tier, I think it's close to about a B or a C tier, like a low B, high C tier. I mean, let's not forget fucking some of the weird bullshit they've pulled in that game. Like, what was it? Chris Renfield punching destroying a rock by punching it.
Chris boulder punching Redfield.
Yes, Chris boulder punching Redfield. There's some things in there are just like, what the hell? Yeah, a lot of that's unforgivable, and they make some really weird story choices where I can't give it that high of a rating because of it. So yeah, I would say either a very low B or a high C.
Didn't you also make a point in, I think, one of the other podcasts we did with the voice acting in one of the Resident Evil games?
First Resident Evil game, yes. How, like, honestly, that actually kills it for me. Not the bad voice acting. I grew up with the bad voice acting. It actually added to the game. And then when they did the remaster, they redid the voice acting, which I wish to God they never did. I'm not going to lie. They should have left the voice acting the way it is. Was what the game was.
Blood.
What is it? Blood! I hope this isn't Chris's blood.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
I know. Like, come on. Like, it made the game. So, yeah.
Can we get a replay on that?
You want to hear Naira giggle again?
Not happening.
Looney, if you're there, can you please clip that?
I
you gave Rev the giggles. I haven't played through a lot of Resident Evil games. I mean, I don't really do scary games, honestly. And even, like, Looney knows that, because I don't even like playing Phasmophobia or Demonologist or any of those games. But Resident Evil, it is one of those games that kind of defined the horror game. Like, I think a lot of other horror games kind of they saw Resident Evil and just like, wow, you know what? I want to make a horror game.
And then proceeded to ruin it.
No. I would probably say C tier for me, personally, for Resident Evil. Because while it's not a bad game, from what I've seen and played, and I've even watched your streams playing 2 and 3, the 2 and 3 remakes, on your stream, Despa. And those are fun to watch. I just wouldn't play them. So, I mean, I would still say C.
I don't really have much of an opinion about Resident Evil. I barely played the intro to 7, I think. I don't even remember which one it was. And then that's all the experience I have with it. And I honestly did not play enough of it to really garner any amount of, did I like this or did I not like this, you know? But I know that it's a really well-known franchise. It's very popular. I don't think I can safely or accurately give it a rating.
So you're just abstaining from the rating in this one?
I think I'll abstain on this one, yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's going to be, what, a C?
A B, because we got an A, B, and a C.
Oh, okay, then yeah, it would be right in the middle.
That seems fair.
Rev, do you have a game franchise you want to talk about?
Too many. I guess Uncharted, which I have to give it the S tier because it defeated my ADHD.
That's pretty difficult.
It is. It's very difficult. It is the only game series in which I played the first game to the last game without stopping.
What the fuck is Uncharted in this list?
I'm not seeing it either.
It's probably not on the list, but I want it.
It's gotta be. It's a big franchise.
Yeah, you'd think it would be here somewhere.
They got some obscure ones on here, so it's gotta be on here. Why the hell is Toho on this list?
Never even heard of that.
And Daytona, USA?
I actually don't think Uncharted is actually on this list.
Well, we can still do it anyway.
Yeah, we can.
Uncharted is going to be one I abstain from because I've never played them, and again, don't really know enough about them to enjoy them other than they are what modern Tomb Raider wants to be.
Tomb Raider came first.
It did, but the modern Tomb Raider games really, really feel more like Uncharted games. Not that they're bad, is just, they feel more like Uncharted.
I disagree with Despa's comment about that. Just putting that on record, because
honestly, I mean, I feel like I've played them both. So, like, I feel like they are very similar. And that's probably why I really enjoyed Uncharted and Tomb Raider. Because Tomb Raider, like the newer ones, I definitely would put up there with Uncharted 2. Because those games I played from beginning to end without deviation. With the exception of the last Tomb Raider game. But I was also playing more games with other people at that time. So I wasn't just playing games by myself. They do have a similar feel.
As far as Uncharted for me, I've played a little bit. I have a couple of the games for PS3. I can see where you would say that it's kind of like a modern day Tomb Raider.
Other way around. Tomb Raider feels more like Uncharted now and not like Tomb Raider. So Uncharted is its own thing, but Tomb Raider feels like it's kind of wanting to be Uncharted to me.
I don't agree with that. I probably still would agree with what I said. It felt more like a modern day Tomb Raider at that time, because it was a guy who is kind of like I don't remember, is he an archaeologist or no? He's like a bounty hunter or something, isn't he?
No,
he's a treasure hunter.
He was a treasure hunter, but it was something about a family thing, if I remember correctly.
So he's a treasure hunter, and he meets this reporter, and basically through the first one, they kind of fall in love. And then as the story progresses, it kind of shows how their relationship is affected by him treasure hunting, because he puts himself in a lot of danger, sometimes unnecessarily.
I do remember him being a goofball.
He's a little bit of a goofball.
Yep.
Like, a lot of it is him getting into trouble with people who want these treasures for their own gain, rather than, like, basically you got the bad guys who want this treasure that he's also after. And there's always something important about this treasure and why the other guy can't have it.
Oh, of course.
It's a lot like the Tomb Raider thing.
It's a trope of the genre.
Yeah.
I would probably put it at a high C for myself anyway.
I like seeing the relationship play out between the two of them throughout the games. And then by the end of the fourth game, they finally are able to...
Had good puzzles from what I remember.
It did. It did have really good puzzles.
It had actually good puzzles.
Yeah. No tombs.
No tombs. Just a lot of jumping off of high places. Just no tombs.
Climbing,
yeah.
I'll give my feedback then, because I've played the couple of them. I did really enjoy them. I mean, they were really good games. The puzzles were good. The storyline was great. I would give it, a high B, low A, personally. And I mean, it definitely was a ripoff of Tomb Raider. Like, if Tomb Raider didn't exist, definitely Uncharted would not exist. And that is a very obvious comparison there. But yet again, if Indiana Jones didn't exist at the same time, then Tomb Raider probably would never have existed. So it's a line. But yeah, I would give it a low A, high B.
So that's a B and 2 C's? I can't remember everyone's scores.
I gave it an S.
So it ended up being an A, I think.
S, B, and a C then?
Did you say B, Naira?
I said low A, high B. Let's just say low A for the sake of argument.
Okay, that probably make it an A on average then.
Okay, so Uncharted goes behind Pokemon in A. Okay, so you did Uncharted. Did you want to do one, Despa, or did we?
I did Resident Evil. We're out of time.
Yeah, I know. I have to go.
Okay.
Because I've got work.
Okay. So we're just leaving it there then?
Yeah, can you save these?
Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah, save or downloads down at the bottom.
I would like to do another podcast where we continue this.
I would love to do the next series of podcasts continuing this until we get through it.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun.
Good.
I would like probably me and you, DoeKe, to go through it and decide which of these games, because some of these I don't know why they're on here.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just kind of looking through the list and just picking ones that we kind of know.
Is Daytona USA a franchise?
It used to be.
Yes.
I thought that was just a singular game. Okay.
No, Daytona USA was released quite a few games. It was
they had a few of them.
It was almost a yearly thing.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to go through it with you, DoeKe, off camera, picking some of the better ones and just throwing the rest into never played.
Well, why don't we all do it? And then that way we can make
sure.
Yeah, no, sure.
I just don't want to have too many because I don't want it to turn into a podcast off camera, you know?
No, I'm just saying that we could figure it all out on all together. I think would be better because then you may say, "Hey, I want to get rid of this game," but the rest of us like, "Hey, we want to. How come this one's missing?"
Mm-hmm. All right.
Or so just be fair though. Sports games should just go.
Yes.
On my honest opinion, to right off the bat, sports games should go because they're
sports games should go.
FIFA's on here, so
yeah. I saw that. That's why I said sports games should go because I don't think they should apply to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree.
Racing games should go.
Yeah, well, that's sports.
Yeah,
technically, racing is sports.
Technically, okay.
Though I know Naira could probably talk about racing games.
I could too with some of these, but I will for the sake of argument just go ahead and throw them in with the sports games.
All right, let's finish up so Rev could go to work.
All right. Well, at this point, there really isn't much to say. This is the last one for the year, and I am so sorry to all our dear listeners that things kind of fell apart because everything kind of went to shit all at once for me, and I couldn't really make time.
And for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of us just kind of
went.
Yeah, this hasn't been a good year for everybody here, apparently.
Oh, no.
No, not really. But we will continue that.
Let's hope to the high heavens that 2024 is better.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.